What's good, EGF squad? It's your boy EGF who's here back with another video. As you can tell by the title, we're about to talk about why Giannis is gone. I think it's pretty obvious it's gone, but a lot of people don't see it. So that's what we're finna dive into today. If you haven't, hit the sub button, hit the like button, comment down below what you think, and let's just get straight into this video. I'm not gonna hold y'all on too long because I have a lot to explain and a lot to say. As you guys probably already know, Giannis is a 6'11", two-time MVP, one-time DPOY out of Greek. He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, and as we all know, his contract is coming to an end. I think it's pretty obvious that he's leaving again, but again, if you don't believe me or don't know, just take the time to watch this whole video through and understand why he's gone. Back in the 2016-2017 offseason, Giannis signed a 4-year, $100 million extension with the Milwaukee Bucks. He signed it after jumping from 17 points per game in the 2015 season to 23 points per game in the 2016 season, which also landed him the Most Improved Player of the Year award, which is also a good jump for the young star heading into a senior season. So as I predicted from Giannis' rookie season, I'm sure the Bucks did too, even when he only averaged 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists, the Bucks always knew they had someone special in their hands. So from the 2017 season and on, the Bucks have been under immense pressure to try and get this young star some talent to where he can at least make the finals or play for a championship. Giannis talked about winning since he was a young player, and within all these years of him just wanting to win desperately, and since signing that contract extension, the Bucks have failed to put any type of talent around this young man. The team just ended up coming up short year after year due to players just not showing up or their front office failing to make moves. Let's get this started the year after he signed his extension in 2017. After the extension was signed, let's look at what happened to the Bucks the next season. This is 2017 and the 2018 season. They finished the season 44-38, finishing them 7th in the East, and ended up facing the Celtics, which ended up going 7 games. In this series, Giannis averaged 26, 10, and 7, with the assistance of his second star, Chris Middleton, averaging 25, 5, and 3. But their point guard, Eric Bledsoe, who they traded for a year or two prior, and their other young star, Jabari Parker at the time, only averaged 10 points per game. If you remember this is the series where Scary Terry was born, aka him dropping off Eric Bledsoe and Eric Bledsoe acting like he doesn't know who he is. Bledsoe, the defensive guard in quotation marks, we all know he was exposed. I think his defense is kind of overrated. I'm sorry. His backup was the Rookie of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon. He was the better shooter, better playmaker, and in my opinion, the better defensive player. But that was pretty much the wrap to that season. They finished 7th. In the middle of this season, Jason Kidd was fired, so they did have 2 different coaches, so I guess you could try and blame it on that. I wouldn't personally. That's just how that went. In the 2018-19 offseason, the Bucks got Coach Bud from the Atlanta Hawks. After he got swept as the 1 seed in the conference finals with 4 All-Stars being Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap, and I believe the 4th one was Al Horford. They acquired Brook Lopez this offseason too. He was a key pickup to this team even to this day. That was the only transaction worth noting this offseason, to be honest with you. But during the season, the next season, they traded for George Hill while climbing to the best record in the league at 60-22. This was the first season where Giannis won his first MVP. This was the season where Giannis won his first MVP with him averaging 28, 13, and 6. This season concluded with the Bucks losing in the conference finals to the Raptors team in 6. The Bucks won the first 2 games but lost the next 4. A lot of things was taken and should have been taken note of during the series of what happened. Just everybody should be asking, how did the MVP lose in the conference finals to a Raptors team that did start Kawhi Leonard? But I didn't really see any other talent on that team other than maybe Serge Ibaka and I guess Kyle Lowry. Alright y'all, this is me while editing. I forgot to mention Pascal Siakam's name. He's obviously another talented player. I think he averaged about 22 and 10 in that series alone. They obviously had Fred VanVleet. They had Marc Gasol. It wasn't a trash team at all like I tried to downplay it. Like I said, Giannis is just my favorite player, so it was low-key biased in that regards. I was really salty that they lost that series. That was an easy ring for Giannisantetokounmpo. But back to the video. Yeah, but let's look at what happened in the series. Let's take note of what happened. Malcolm Brogdon, the person who won Rookie of the Year, I think it was the year before this, outscored, out-assist, and out-rebounded the other 2 point guards on the team, being Eric Bledsoe and George Hill. Chris Middleton played horribly, only averaging 13 points, and Giannis was held to 23, 15, and 6 due to his teammates underperforming, resulting in him being double-teamed off the dribble, having no real outside threats, with no Bucks averaging over 38% from 3, but Malcolm Brogdon. Only other teammate that kind of helped was Brook Lopez, who averaged 16 and 7 in the disappointing playoff series. After this playoff series, Giannis was obviously very upset after blowing a 2-0 lead against these Raptors. So
I'm wondering if now that you have some of that experience, if you see more validity to that point, or what you think about that now that you've gone through it.
going into the next offseason, after almost making the finals, you'd assume the Bucks would help the young MVP and give him some type of help or some type of future, especially knowing there's only 2 years left on his deal going forward. After signing George Hill, the first move made in the offseason was re-signing Brook Lopez. But after re-signing George Hill and Brook Lopez, the Bucks did a sign and trade with the Pacers for Malcolm Brogdon. They got nothing back in return but a bunch of second rounders and 1 first-round pick that they ended up trading to the Jazz this year, being RJ Hampton. They got rid of Malcolm Brogdon, their only piece of young talent, their point guard that just outscored the other 2 quote-unquote experienced ones in a playoff series that could have led them to a finals victory, because we all know what happened to Kevin Durant in the next series. There would have been nobody to stop Giannis in that series. We all know that. Nobody. They also re-signed Chris Middleton to a max deal, which I feel very overpaid after coming up short last playoffs and just how he plays in general. But I do understand why they did it, because they can't afford to lose Chris Middleton. They also ended up signing Wesley Matthews and signing Kyle Korver to try and increase the shooting around the MVP. Next season, the one that just passed, we all know Giannis won back-to-back MVPs with the DPOY amazing. First to do it since Hakeem. He went 56 and 17 this season that just passed, as we all know. It kind of ended up short to COVID, but the Bucks ended up with the best defensive rating thanks to Giannis, Chris, and Lopez. Although they was first, it couldn't keep them up because once again in the playoffs, another tragic playoff series lost to the Miami Heat, the 5th seed. The Heat beat the Bucks in 5 with Giannis getting hurt. But before Giannis was even hurt, we all need to take note that he was double teamed pretty badly due to his teammates not being able to show up or shoot again, which would be the second playoff series in a row where this happened. The only player who shot above 34% on more than 12 attempts from the 3 was Brook Lopez, who made 45% of his. The next highest was the Milwaukee's quote-unquote second star. I wish y'all could see capital letters star, and being Chris Middleton. He shot 33% from 3. which ended up being another disappointing year and Giannis not having the help from him needed to succeed. Although Lopez and Chris is good fits for Giannis, they're not good enough alone to get him to where he needs to be. Eric Bledsoe, who I preached over year after year, was a terrible pickup from the Suns when they made that trade. In the Heat series, shot 21% from 3, only averaged 11 points, and got outscored by the other team's point guard by 9 points, with Goran Dragic leading the Heat in points with 20 points per game. Both former teammates from the Suns. Just saying, I wanted him to get Goran, not Eric. So after this, Giannis has one more year left on his deal and obviously isn't signing an extension before the December 21st deadline. The Bucks failed on getting Bogdanović and showed their willingness to do anything to keep him, with giving up 5 first-round picks for a player that didn't make the All-Star team in 8 years. Not saying Jrue Holiday is bad at all, that's not what I'm saying. But we have to look at the facts. He didn't make the All-Star team in 8 years, although he was in the West. In all these years I just told you, you need to realize what the Bucks did not sign anybody really worth signing, other than Lopez, and I guess re-signing Chris if you want to give it. They signed and traded their potential star Brogdon so they wouldn't get into luxury tax, although that's what they just did by getting Jrue Holiday, who's also a free agent next season. Everything I didn't mention, just I felt like wasn't worth mentioning. It was nothing major enough to try and get the star to stay. Again, they made no real attempt to help the star, decided to keep Bud even after him not attempting to change the game plan against the Heat after going down 3-0. A lot of people would blame Giannis' playstyle, when in reality he hasn't really put his playstyle to the test because he hasn't played with the top 25 player. The Bucks had multiple chances and didn't even swing at a top 25. So if I was Giannis, I'd leave, and I think it's pretty obvious that Giannis is gone. Jrue Holiday is not going to be enough for Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez in the East to get this job. I don't really believe in the Bucks' depth, and they didn't really sign anybody else this offseason. So their best bet is to pray that KD doesn't come back the same, Tatum doesn't continue to grow as a player, and that the 76ers don't get hardened and Ben and Joel just don't work out. That's about it for this video, y'all. I appreciate y'all and love y'all more than I love myself. Don't forget to go check out my main channel if you like the way I talk, or if you can hear some personality in my voice. I got a lot on my main channel. We trying to hit 500 subs, really 400 for 2021. And that's about it, y'all. I love y'all more than I love myself. We out, EGF Squad. Peace.